I think one of the things, that enabled the success of this project, and is probably germane to trying to do social innovation, you just kind of have to do stuff, right? And so it's this whole sense of you just sort of have to jump with your parachute, sort of half on sometimes, and hope for the best.
The leap into the farmers market was simply a leap. It wasn't a planned, highly refined strategic move. It was in response to the idea that we should focus on being something relevant for the community.
I was starting to create the programming down here back in 2007, and it was Jeff, and he said, we just have got to go down there and start doing something, because you can plan yourself into oblivion. I lost many nights of sleep thinking of lonely vendors standing beside their produce stands and no customers. That was my big concern, and so I said to my colleagues, I said, if we can have 500 people a Saturday, I'll be thrilled. And the first Saturday we probably had over 2,000.
The farmers market to me was one of the programmatic themes that began activating the site. So burned out combination of industrial buildings, nothing going for it, not even a particularly good parking lot, but put a farmers market in every Saturday morning, and we had 2,000 to 3,000 people coming between 7 a.m. and noon, and that put this place on the map.
We were listening to what people were saying, and if people were suggesting that maybe food was a big idea that we should embrace at the beginning, well, we quickly adopted that and started the farmers market as a big idea to kind of to catalyze this idea that we have a role in the community. Pivotal moment.
We made this interesting choice before we constructed anything to begin programming, I think about 2 years before we even started construction. And it was amazing. I used to get phone calls from people saying, wow, you've done a great job. That Brickworks is fantastic. And I think, well, I haven't really done anything yet. But, yeah, I agree with you. It's really fantastic. That taught us that in actual fact, the acceptability of the place, almost the way it is, just reactivated with people, would be startling for folks and good.
I'd say one of the really stunning little moments in hindsight was having Prince Charles visit, which was not orchestrated, but we figured out, wasn't up to us for his visit. We responded to a moment, but we completely maximized the moment.
Within about 8 weeks, we pulled together a leadership forum that attracted over 125 decision-making government and executive officials from across North America. And so we sort of, that was in nobody's work plan. But everybody thought, this is interesting. We have to figure out how to make this really work in our advantage to drive attention to the site and support for it. So I think, again, you need this kind of opportunistic or entrepreneurial culture that's nimble enough to be able to respond to those sorts of things.
We did a lot in a very short time in late November and early December to get the site ready for public skating. We weren't at all ready in early November, so a lot came together in November and early December and right up to the last minute to get the site operating for skating. And the thing I really like about skating is the people that come to skate, they don't know anything about Evergreen Brick Works. They just come to skate. And I think that's huge. I think what we've always wanted to do is to bring people to the site for the wrong reasons and have them knowing something new about sustainability, about heritage, about city building, and I think that plays out in terms of the skating rink and the people that come.
Evergreen showed its true ability to offer something to the public that was something they were seeking, and so they came here and they found what they wanted to find, and they were pleased, and so they keep coming back. They kept coming back, and this was the first indicator that we were onto something, that if we kept in line with what the public wanted out of a site like this, that it was going to be a success.
We've been really good at bringing people into the tent. Literally and figuratively, we've brought people into this space and enabled them to help define what it should be. And through that, we've gained an enormous amount of trust from the public and from a number of key philanthropists. That's been our single most important strategic, how did we do this?
These things always come back to people and the ability to implement ideas. We all have ideas. The difference makers are those that take the ideas and go and actually do it. So you need the leadership, you need the team with the leadership, you need courage, you need imagination, you need money.
For me, once I'd seen this project and once I heard Jeff was doing it, to me it was like the destiny. The destiny was this thing was going to be unfolded and all of Toronto would understand what it had. As soon as Jeff said he was going to do it, it almost didn't matter who Jeff was. He was going to do it, and Jeff has such confidence that, as he said, he had a lease on the property, the city was going to give it to him. It was only later that I realized it was such a huge leap of faith. And it was only later that I realized this thing was not a done deal by any means. And I only learned that, though, afterwards. I mean, my initial thing was, yeah, you're going to do it. And this is fantastic. And how can I support you?
I can see the sunrise sneaking above the canyon, feeling my heart with happiness. Though my horse and I lonely, that's the start of life's journey. Even when things are looking down, I can see great things ahead for you and me. Now the sun is shining.